Hi everyone. In this interview we're having a look at instant possession. First and foremost, instancy in terms of possession do not in fact exist, meaning one do within a particular specific moment become instantly possessed, where a possession suddenly unexpectedly emerge within ourself and take over, which influence, control, and determine who self is and how self behave within a particular specific moment. However, for that instancy to manifest, it had in fact taken a accumulation of conscious mind thoughts transferred into internal conversations and back chat with reactions that happened in a time loop over and over and over again, that manifested into the unconscious, built up and accumulated into and as layers, and then re-emerged as an actual manifested personality that self had programmed and created and manifested towards a particular specific someone within and as one's world and one's reality. Now, we're going to have a look at, within this video interview, at instant possession within the context of family members, especially because one had throughout one's life, and I mean this can be family members within the context of whether blood related or not, whoever within one's world and one's reality were standing that position of family, or even if one didn't in particular have a family, but that there were people within one's world and one's reality that were constant within one's upbringing. So we can have a look at instant possession, wherein because of the accumulated time spent with them, one will see, realize, and understand that many times there comes moments or events or situations where it's like this instant possession that emerge, and the most common of these is like an irritation and an anger and a frustration that will take over in a moment, wherein one's thoughts will turn into spite and revenge, and one will become the manifestation of the personality as like ego and dominance over and of this person. So let us have a look at how such a personality is created and programmed within self through time, and how like a little event will eventually become this big massive blowout within self, within one's living action or behavior towards this person. And even then it can go further, where little events start accumulating within that personality, and it can lead to a total disconnection and separation and long-term severance of a relationship, just because of that accepted and allowed self-relationship towards the person. And so first and foremost, it's to see, realize, and understand that such an instant possession experience that a little event sets off is a red flag of, oh my God, I have spent or had and accepted and allowed myself to walk through an extended period of time inside myself where I have accumulated, stored, suppressed thoughts, backchat, internal conversations, and reactions towards this person, and now I'm here possessed within a full-fledged personality that I created as and for myself towards this person. So now it's time to really stop and introspect, investigate myself within what I have accepted and allowed within me to create towards this person. And obviously we do not want to have it go that far, where a little event sets off a total instant possession of a personality that's already completely fully programmed. However, many starting their processes in the middle of their processes, or simply hearing this for the first time, will relate to these or such experiences and can thus now make that decision to assert oneself to within understanding, not accept and allow oneself to have this experience towards this person go so far where it can lead to manifest consequence that manifest that point where it's too late. I mean, that point does exist where we can accept and allow ourselves to take ourselves just that bit too far, and where we have to walk through the consequence of taking ourselves to that point of being too late, going too far. And it will remain as a consequence throughout our lifetime, where it'll be a point that we cannot go back to within ourselves because we've really severed it. And within that, sabotaging ourselves from having a relationship with another human being that is in fact ourselves, but that we have accepted and allowed ourselves to break down, destroy, and diminish simply because we did not take self-responsibility for ourselves. Obviously, it will become a lesson wherein it'll be something that we'll remember for the rest of our existence, but what we're saying is that it's not necessary to take it so far where it's too late. So assist and support self already for self's sake and let's say humanity's sake in a way, where we don't take ourselves and our existence to such an extent where it's too late, where we've really gone too far, and where we have sabotaged ourselves, each other, this world, of an opportunity that is here to in fact change what is here by simply changing ourselves. So going back to the self-directive principle, in let's say you have a parental figure or a person that's been within and throughout your life quite constantly, and an event happened where you made an appointment with them and you asked them, because you didn't have the transport to be able to get yourself from point A and point B, you asked them to just assist and support you to get from point A to point B, and they commented to you that, oh no, I'm too busy, I don't have time, or I really don't feel like it today, I'm not feeling cool, or just something that they say just ticked you off, and you went into this absolute total possession of anger that took over, and your mind is racing with like, it's not so difficult to just start a car and take me from point A to point B. What the fuck is your problem? And I've done this for you and I've done that for you, and why can't you do just this one thing for me? And then eventually the person says, yes, okay, I'll take you, and then they take you, and when they come and fetch you, they arrive late, and there this whole thing just sparks again into another level of accumulation, and you're like, how hard can it be to just be on time, and what the hell is their problem, and why are they late? And you know, it's just growing, and your body is like busy becoming agitated, and like you're moving around and you're sighing, and you know, there is already your indication of, okay, this is possession, because your body is already busy physically changing or behaving in a mannerism that is reacting to your reactions and your backchat. So this is an obvious indication that here is a flag point in terms of that you have, throughout an accumulation of time, had backchat towards this person that you created within your thoughts. So then to have a look at what is the origin point and how self created this within self towards this person is to obviously sit with oneself and have a look at, okay, what was first the nature of your reaction towards the person? Because your backchat and your immediate internal conversations towards the particular situation may just be an outflow of the initial starting point of what happened within this relationship. So to actually get to the starting point and context of the origin of how this was created is to look at the energy, because the energy will be the constant point that grew and developed from the origin through time into the accumulation and then the possession. So when access the irritation, the anger and frustration, how did one through time, what was the thoughts, what was the back chat within the context of irritation, frustration and anger, that self had accumulated and not directed within self or dealt with himself in relation to this person, because it has been an accumulation of energy in the context of anger, irritation and frustration that grew and developed into this personality possession. So go back, I mean, you just have to look at as many points as you can immediately see. Obviously, this is a multi-dimensional process point where you're facing a total personality creation. So initially, just take it slowly, step by step, having a look at the initial points where one see that one had become frustrated, irritated, or angry with this person in moments throughout time. Maybe one can just start with taking it back 1 month, even 3, if one's able to. It might be more difficult to look farther back. So just start. I mean, assist and support yourself to get as much as you can, because the moment you start, you'll see it'll open up more. You just need to accept and allow yourself to actually start. So start with 1 month, if you can 3. Have a look and you'll notice, like, it was, for example, little things where they'd forget something, or where they weren't willing to do something, or where they were moaning or complaining, or just being nasty or taking things out on others, and you and through time accumulated just those moments that you observed of them, created an internal conversation and back chat of it, instead of reflecting one's own reactions back to self, and created a total personality, which is actually a possession of self as parts of self that accumulated into a personality creation, saying and possessing you to say, hello, we're here, and all these parts of you that you've separated yourself from, you didn't give us attention. So, I mean, now we've got to take you to the point of total possession to show you, pay attention. Look, see, who are you? What are you accepting and allowing? What are you doing? So it's kind of your mind assisting and supporting you in that process of actually having a look at what you're accepting and allowing within yourself, what you're not paying attention to, what are you suppressing, what are you separating. So write out those points, just short descriptions for yourself in moments that you see, and then do your step of taking self-responsibility, bringing the points back to self. Being, for example, irritated when they didn't want to do something, bring it back to self. Where am I accepting and allowing myself not to do something within my own world, where I'm actually behaving exactly like them, but I've blamed and projected it onto them? Having a look at where they forgot something, like keys or milk or papers or things like that. Bring it back to self. Where am I accepting and allowing myself to do that? A person is always reflecting parts and points of self that self had not faced, dealt with, that one do but deny or suppress or want to become or emulate and things like that. So always bring points back to self directly, and you'll see that the things you're reacting to in others, you're in fact accepting and allowing within yourself. But you have to see it through a mirror as yourself, as others, because you are it and you're in it. It becomes difficult to see. So when you start seeing yourself within and through others, you go through that veil of yourself and access you in seeing what you're accepting and allowing yourself to live. And then once you've taken the points back to yourself, obviously assist and support yourself with self-forgiveness within the possession event itself, just to release that total manifested possession. Walk through forgiving yourself that you've accepted and allowed yourself to become irritated, frustrated, and angry at them, and reacting to them for not wanting to take you initially, for reacting for being late, for how you behave towards them, for your thoughts that went to spite and to revenge, and to anger and projection and blame. So first, just diffuse and release that initial total opposition point within yourself with self-forgiveness. Get yourself a clear platform within yourself, a stable blank slate starting point. Then walk the 1-3 months, have a look at what is all the points that one has separated itself from, bring all those points back to self, and obviously then the practical application of being more aware with where you leave things, how you handle things, allowing yourself to, when someone asks you for assistance, to not react to them asking. Because I mean, even that point of where you initially reacted to how they responded to you with you asking for help and assistance, reflect that back to self. Where do you do the same? Like when someone asks you something, you sigh, or, oh, okay, yes, I will, or something like that. And apply your corrective application. When someone asks you for assistance, consider their position. How can you assist and support them in giving them a ride because they don't have transport? I mean, we really have to reevaluate our interactions and relationships with others to assist and support ourselves in changing how we are relating to ourselves and to others. Okay, so here is support and assistance in terms of facing instant position in relation to especially family. You might experience it towards even friends and acquaintances, work colleagues, things like that. Always and will be someone that's been in your world within quite a continuity of time. And this is quite a process to walk for yourself and will take time, so work on it as much as you can, when you can, if you're doing it with yourself. In, for example, Desteniiprocess, one is assisted and supported in working through how one actually step-by-step create these personalities, which one walks through a course called the Keeping Score Construct, where one is assisted and supported to really see in a space-time continuum how thoughts accumulate in polarities and how such events as personalities actually become about ego, competition, superiority, and survival. So that's a very fascinating and interesting process to walk. I mean, we can clearly see the detail of how thinking creates personalities. Okay, thank you very much.